Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Now, fuck with me, you know I got it. Now, I made a video. Stay tuned to the channel, subscribe, all that good stuff. 2017, it got me working. But it's still easy work. All work is easy work. Now, I did a video almost a week ago. You see it on the screen. Canelo versus Chavez Jr. David Lemieux added. Canelo versus David Lemieux building up, question mark, undercard revealed. Now, they announced that David Lemieux was added to the Canelo I was born ready versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I've done several videos, Ego Weight Watchers video. Chavez Jr. looks ripped, he looks determined. Canelo looks good. I got more videos. I went to the press tour, and I'm overall going to be covering and talking about this fight intently. I think it's a solid card as far as the undercard, and the main event should definitely deliver entertainment. So when I made this video almost a week ago, very easy for me to see the buildup. And Canelo versus David Lemieux is not in stone. It's not like it's public or anything that they will fight. But David Lemieux was in Montreal. They did like a press conference to announce his addition or his fight being added to the undercard of Canelo Chavez Jr. They released a press release, and in it, David Lemieux is basically saying he would love to fight Canelo. That's the goal, and I kind of want to talk about that. So again, nothing in stone, but definitely something they could build up, like I told you guys 5 days ago when I made this video. Very easy for me to see. I told you guys it's a common tactic in boxing for the promoter to go to have a card basically, and then put a future fight and put those same two people on the same card. It's a common practice that people do, and that's to further promote, give exposure, and build up the two future combatants. Now, David Lemieux, him or Mikey Garcia has the knockout of the year as far as the high profile fights that I've seen. Great stuff, great knockout. His Curtis Stevens knockout is brutal. Curtis Stevens was out, and he was out of there for a minute. It was kind of scary, you know what I mean, to see him on the canvas that long. Normally guys get up from like a knockout. Another reason aside from just David Lemieux being added, so here's his press conference, press announcement. Aside from him just merely being added to the Canelo Chavez Jr. card to stage kind of future fights, there's been so many problems with the Golovkin fight. Canelo and Golovkin, how much would he take? Golovkin, they said they offered him a flat rate and small pay-per-view proceeds of $15 million plus a little bit of the back end, and that wasn't good enough. And then Golovkin now has another pay-per-view, which in my opinion the numbers were lower than expected. It was a great fight. I went to the fight. I was in New York. I covered the fight, boxingego.com, and I enjoyed it. I have nothing as far as the main event, co-main event, the trip itself, I have no complaints, but the numbers did not translate. It did not deliver historical numbers. It did good live gates, it sold merchandise from Golovkin and stuff like that, but David Lemieux versus Golovkin and now Triple G versus Jacobs, those fights did not catapult Golovkin to the next level in terms of his stardom and his power, because I do think he is a star, but I know he's not as big as Canelo, and the way you could tell is because Canelo's doing the live gates and has lit weigh-ins and press conferences and shit like that, but it also translates in some of his pay-per-view. Obviously, Floyd Mayweather, you could say, oh, that's because of Floyd, but it doesn't matter. He was still a part of that. He was part of that main event, the one card, right? And even his best pay-per-view outside of Floyd was Cotto. And it takes two to tango. You'll get good numbers if you put desirable fights with 2 stars, and that did almost $1 million, right? But even his fights with like Angulo and Edeslandi Lara, those were in the 300 to 400,000, 375,000 range. Golovkin has, in both of his fights, hasn't done what one of Canelo's fights have done in terms of pay-per-view buys, right? So it doesn't really make me confident that the Golovkin fight will happen. If anything, the Golovkin side loses leverage. And De La Hoya already mentioned that. He said, "Oh, they gotta be realistic, and we gotta relook at the offer." You know what I mean? Whatever that means. But obviously, if they were offering you 15 mil, and you're not producing pay-per-view success numbers, then they're going to say, hey, our star is the most bankable. He's clearly the A side. You guys know he's the A side. We have the numbers to prove it. So, you know what I mean? They might offer Golovkin something lower. So I really think the David Lemieux option for Canelo is a smart one. It's smart to put him on the same card. And it's a fight. It sounds like a backup plan. You know what I mean? So they could already be building up this. Plus, we don't know what Golovkin... There's a lot of little intricacies going on with this whole little triangle or whatever you want to call it. But Golovkin may fight Billy Joe Saunders in Kazakhstan in June. You know what I mean? And De La Hoya saying if you do that, that's going to derail promotion, because after Canelo beats Chavez Jr., if he beats him, then we're already immediately ready to start promoting that September fight. So will Golovkin hold out on becoming undisputed and fighting Billy Joe Saunders for the last belt to get the bigger fight, the bigger paycheck, and a meaningful fight for him that he's wanted in Canelo? So there's some things we don't know, some variables. But either way, it doesn't give me the utmost confidence that Canelo and Golovkin will absolutely fight next in their next fights in September or whatever. And that's what it is. So David Lemieux looks like an understudy, a stand-in, somebody that they could use. It's an easily sellable fight. And my 2 cents, my thoughts, I'm okay with the fight. I like David Lemieux. You know what I'm saying? I picked Golovkin to beat him, which I was right, and did a 7 reasons on it. I like David Lemieux, though. I like his attitude. I like his style. I mean, he clearly has nasty power. I don't know what was up with the Golovkin fight. He just seemed like he fought scared. You know what I'm saying? He didn't fight. And I'm not saying that like how some of you guys say it, like, oh, he's a this and that. I'm not. He just didn't let his hands go like he normally does. So he was obviously fearful of that power or the aura of, because you have to look at it. When David Lemieux fought him, this was before the Kell Brook fight and before the Danny Jacobs fight, where Golovkin was putting on these Superman performances and people hadn't really seen the flaws or any flaws, or people weren't saying that, oh, Jacobs won or Kell Brook exposed him at the time David Lemieux fought him. So to me, I think David Lemieux might have been way too respectful early and kind of like trying to pay respect because this guy is this HBO saying he's a killer, he's a monster, and watching out for the knockout power. And then by that time, Golovkin had already worked himself into a rhythm, working behind a jab, and David Lemieux was just too far behind. Plus, you have to deal with the height of Golovkin with that jab, David Lemieux being the smaller person. Again, as far as the fight with Canelo, I really, truly, obviously, I want to see the Canelo fight versus Golovkin, like most boxing fans, right? But I'm not mad at the David Lemieux fight if for whatever reason they can't agree. And I don't think it's entirely, see, this, I try to be realistic with my thoughts and tell you exactly how I feel. I don't think it's all Team Canelo's fault for the Golovkin fight not being made, right? I do think there's inherent things like vacating your belt when you were supposed to negotiate and, you know what I mean, killing time, saying all we want is the Amir Khan voluntary and then we'll fight you. I mean, that's all a waste of time. But there is things that Golovkin has done as well on his side. How they said they'll come down to 154 and fight Floyd and Pacquiao. But Canelo said, all right, you want to fight ASAP? Fight me at 155. Then they didn't want to do that. But you were willing to come down for certain people. Why not come down for Canelo? Oh, because he's big and he's bigger than Floyd and Pacquiao. So you don't want to deal with those problems at 155. Other things like the $15 million, that's good money. And it's Golovkin live gate and all that, that's good. But his numbers aren't translating to pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? So to want more than $15 million, I don't really know what he's expecting. Like, I understand why you would want a percentage, but sometimes you have to just take it. You know what I mean? Floyd fought Canelo. Floyd was the A side. Canelo got $5 million as his base pay, with money in Mexico for the distribution of the fight and back in pay-per-view money. But his flat rate was like $5 million, maybe $6 million. It wasn't that much. So Golovkin getting a flat rate of $15 million, that's 3 times what Canelo got. And he definitely helped he fought Floyd on Mexican Independence Day weekend in September in 2013. So clearly an undefeated champion Canelo, who's bigger than Floyd, who's stronger than Floyd, younger than Floyd, on a Mexican Independence Day weekend, helped catapult that fight to 2.2 million views pay-per-view buys, right? Yet Floyd was the A side, so Canelo he had to take shorter money. You know what I mean? Now he can A side people because he's the A side since Floyd retired. Do you see how that works? So, I mean, Canelo, I respect him because he could have been like, oh, I'm not fighting Floyd because this is going to do over $2 million and I deserve more and stuff. He wanted the opportunity. He really thought he could beat him at the time. I mean, he came up short, but I still respect him because I'm not saying you should take shit money for fights. You know what I mean? Like some of these fighters, they offer them 2 weeks to train and they offer them like $4,000. That ain't shit. Put your whole resume on the line and you don't even have a full camp. So I'm not talking about take a raw deal like that, but $15 million to me is not a raw deal. You're getting a lot of money. That's 3 times what you made in your biggest fight, which is Kell Brook, where you got $5 million. Golovkin got $5 million. If you add the Golovkin purse from the Kell Brook fight plus the Jacobs fight, it's still half of what Golden Boy offered him. Now they may have stalled too long, and Golden Boy might offer him something even lower now. Like, fuck it, you don't even deserve $15 million. You're not even hitting 300,000 in pay-per-view buys. So I don't know. So David Lemieux, he might have lucked out in this situation because he's been saying he wanted a Canelo fight, and he might get it because this is a ready-made fight. It's a fight people know the David Lemieux name. He's been in there with Golovkin. He's been on HBO main events like Rosado fight, Curtis Stevens. He has a knockout of the year. So it's a real easy fight to transition to, and I guarantee you see that face. They offer him $15 million, he'll take it. I know they won't even offer him that much, and he'll still take it. You know what I'm saying? If they offered him $2 million, he would probably take it. $5 million, he'll probably take it. You know what I mean? And I'm obviously speaking on behalf of David Lemieux, but I really believe that. I believe he's not. It's not going to be much of a headache. They're both Golden Boy fighters. He wants the opportunity, so you know what I mean. He's not going to be asking for something double-digit millions and asking for anything outrageous. I really don't see that. So. If Canelo fights, it's still a good fight. Some people are like, oh, it's Golovkin leftovers. But, I mean, you could do that with virtually anybody in boxing, barring like a Floyd Mayweather, Joe Calzaghe, Rocky Marciano, or one of these guys with these perfect records. But, I mean, if you really think about it, everybody is somebody's leftovers for the most part. That's like saying Juan Manuel Marquez, he's Freddie Norwood leftover, so Pacquiao should have never fought him. Every single Pacquiao fight has been exciting, but since he lost to Freddie Norwood, Pacquiao shouldn't have fight him because he's Norwood leftovers. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff sounds stupid. There's still good fights. Berto lost to Mayweather. Porter lost to Keith Thurman, right? And Kell Brook, but they're still fighting each other at welterweight. They work their way up to the ranks, and it's still a good fight. You know what I'm saying? So fans do too much with this whole he's so-and-so's leftovers talk, because at the end of the day, most guys have been beaten before. You know what I mean? So the whole leftover. And Dave Lemieux, he's on a 3-win knockout or 3-win streak, 2 of them by knockout, and the ones he did knock out were the guys with names, Glenn Tapia, and then also his fight with Curtis Stevens last. And the only guy he didn't knock out was a guy we didn't really even know about, Christian Fabian Rios. So he's, since the Golovkin lost, he's working his way back up. So I'm okay with the Canelo versus David Lemieux, to be honest. And the Golovkin leftovers, that type of talk sounds stupid to me, because Canelo's not Golovkin. Golovkin's 5'10" and a half. I've met both of them, and Golovkin's taller, easily taller than Canelo. You know what I mean? Canelo, I don't know if he would use the same jab as Canelo has a good jab, but I don't know if he'll use it as persistent as Golovkin did when he fought David Lemieux. You know what I mean? Maybe Golovkin hits harder at 160. I don't know, because I haven't seen Canelo at 160 yet. You know what I mean? So there's different variables, and you can't give another man stripes or credit for another person's performance. So just because Golovkin beat him, to me, that definitely doesn't mean that Canelo would beat him, because Golovkin, I told you guys, Golovkin has a man-style chin. He took some, even from Danny Jacobs, he took some heavy shots, and he just ate it, and I never really even seen him badly hurt in that fight. And he took some flush shots, and Jacobs got cracks. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not just saying that from what I've seen. this is my job. I talked to someone who prepared Danny Jacobs, and I interviewed him. Shout out to my dude Kilo. But I interviewed him. He was sparring with Daniel Jacobs, and he told me, you know what I mean? And he has experience in the ring with Jacobs, and he says, yeah, he has power. So Golovkin has a chin. So we don't, you know what I mean? Little things we don't know like that. Is Canelo's chin exactly the same as Golovkin? We don't know, because Canelo did get hurt by Jose Miguel Cotto. You think Jose Miguel Cotto would hurt Golovkin? Probably not. You know what I mean? Oh, you can say, oh, Canelo's 19, but your 19-year-old chin versus your 26-year-old chin, it's not going to really change. So I'm okay with it. That's basically what I'm saying. Let me know what you guys think. If David Lemieux gets it, if he looks good in this, obviously both of them have to look good in their next fight on the same card. Otherwise, like if Chavez beats Canelo, I don't know if they would go after David Lemieux. They might exercise a Chavez Jr. rematch. But if they both get past their May 6 bouts, then and they can't make the Golovkin fight, they should try to make Golovkin. But if they can't, I'm definitely good with the Jacobs, or damn, I'm saying everybody's name, with the Canelo Lemieux. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.